Welcome back to our EVM Mastery series. In this explainer, we are jumping right into two of the absolute cornerstones of project management, Schedule Variance and Cost Variance, or as you'll get to know them, SV and CV. We're going to cover how to calculate them, what they actually mean, and run through some real PMP-style examples. And the best part, this stuff works whether you're running a traditional waterfall project or a fast-paced Agile one. So let's get right to it.
So let's kick things off with the big picture. I want you to think of SV and CV as the vital signs for your project. Just like a doctor checks your pulse and blood pressure, these two little metrics give you an instant, no-nonsense reading on the health of your project.
And this really boils it down, doesn't it? Your schedule variance, SV, is a direct check on your schedule health. Your cost variance, CV, well, that's your budget health. These are literally the first real calculations you're going to do in earned value management, and they immediately answer those two questions you hear every single day. Are we on time and are we on budget?
Okay, so to get those answers, we got to learn to speak the language of project performance. And that language, believe it or not, is built on just a couple of really simple core formulas. Let's break them down right now.
First up, we've got Schedule Variance, or SV. The formula is as easy as it gets. SV equals your earned value minus your planned value. Now, what does that actually mean? Well, your earned value, or EV, is the value of the work you've actually completed. It's real. Your planned value, PV, is what you plan to have done by now. So if you get a positive number, you're ahead of schedule. That's fantastic news. If it's negative, you're behind. And if it's zero, hey, you're perfectly on track.
And next up, we have Cost Variance, or CV. And check this out. The formula is almost identical. CV equals earned value minus actual cost. All you're doing is comparing the value of the work you got done, your EV, to what you actually paid for it, your AC. So if the number is positive, you've spent less than the work was worth. You're under budget. If it's negative, you're over budget. And zero means you spent exactly what you should have. Simple, right?
Okay, so here's the decoder ring for all of this. It's so straightforward. A positive sign for either SV or CV, that's always good news. You'll love to see it. A negative sign? Now, that's not a failure, don't panic, but it is a critical warning sign, a flare going up that says, hey, pay attention over here. And zero, that's the bullseye. You are exactly where you plan to be.
And this right here, this is the golden rule of EVM. Seriously, if you take only one thing away today, for your PMP exam, for your career, let it be this. EV, earned value, always comes first. It's EV minus PV for schedule and EV minus AC for cost. Remembering this one simple thing will save you from ever mixing them up when you're under pressure. Trust me on this.
All right, enough with the theory. Theory's great, but let's see how this stuff actually works in the trenches, right? It's time to put these formulas to the test and get our hands dirty with some real-world examples.
Let's walk through these two scenarios. Over on the left, in example 1, our earned value is $80,000, but we had planned to have $100,000 done. So SV is EV minus PV. That gives us a negative $20,000. The immediate diagnosis, we are behind schedule. Now look at example 2. Our EV is still $80,000, but our actual cost is $90,000. So CV is EV minus AC, giving us a negative $10,000. The diagnosis, we're over budget. See how fast that gives you a clear picture?
Now let's tackle a classic PMP-style word problem. You see these all the time. Your project is to build a fence. The total budget is $200,000. According to the plan, you should be 50% done today. But you're actually 60% complete and you've spent $95,000 so far. So what's our status? First step, don't panic. We just perform an EVM extraction. The total budget is $200K. So our planned value is 50% of that, which is $100,000. Our earned value is what we actually did, 60% of the budget, which is $120,000. And the actual cost, the problem gives it to us, $95,000. Now we just plug it in. SV is $120K minus $100K. That's a positive $20,000. We're ahead of schedule. And CV is $120K minus $95K, a positive $25,000. We are way under budget. That's how you turn a paragraph of text into clear, actionable data.
Okay, so knowing the formulas is step 1. But real mastery comes from knowing how to use them in different situations, and, just as important, knowing what not to do. Let's talk about the common traps and how this all applies in the world of Agile.
One of the biggest questions I get is, hey, does this EVM stuff even work for Agile? And the answer is a huge yes. Absolutely. It's totally universal. In a traditional project, we might use dollars, but in an Agile world, we can just use story points instead. The unit doesn't matter, the logic is identical. If you plan to finish 50 points in a sprint, but only got 40 done, your EV is 40, your PV is 50, and your schedule variance is negative. See? The formula doesn't change at all.
Now, lean in for this one. This is super important. These are the traps that catch even experienced project managers. The biggest mistake you can make is comparing your planned value directly to your actual cost. Why is that so bad? Because you're comparing what you planned to do with what you spent, but you're completely ignoring the value of the work you've actually finished. It's apples to oranges, and it gives you a totally useless, misleading number. Other traps? Forgetting to look at the cumulative trend, and, the big one, treating a negative number as the final answer.
And that brings us to the most important mindset shift you need to make. A variance is not the end of the story, it's the beginning of the story. It's a signal. It's a flashing red light on your dashboard. When you see that negative number, your very first action should be to ask one simple question. Why? Was it because material costs shot up? Do we have to do a bunch of rework? Did some unapproved work sneak in? The variance tells you what is wrong. Your job as a leader is to dig in and find out why.
So let's zoom out for a second and tie this all together. What is the real strategic impact here? Why do business leaders and senior executives rely so heavily on these two simple metrics?
It's because SV and CV are the absolute bedrock of effective project control. They are your early warning system. They let you be proactive, to get ahead of problems before they spiral out of control. They let you manage by exception, which just means you can focus your limited time and energy on the parts of the project that actually need your help. They give you the hard data you need to tell a clear performance story to your stakeholders. And they're the foundation for everything else we're going to learn. Mastering these is just non-negotiable.
So that's the core of scheduling cost variances. Next time, we're going to build right on top of this foundation and explore the performance indices, SPI and CPI, which are even more powerful.
Learning reinforcement. Schedule variance and cost variance are the first practical calculations in earned value management. They provide an immediate read on whether a project is ahead of or behind schedule and under or over budget. Schedule variance is earned value minus planned value. Cost variance is earned value minus actual cost. Earned value always comes first. Positive results indicate ahead of schedule or under budget. 0 means on target. Negative results warn of falling behind or overspending. Anchoring performance to the work actually finished establishes a mathematical baseline for the status of a project. Take a fence building project with a $200,000 budget. Today, the plan was to be 50% complete, but the team has finished 60% of the work and spent $95,000. To find schedule variance, we convert those percentages into dollar amounts. 50% planned is a planned value of $100,000. 60% completed gives an earned value of $120,000. This results in a positive $20,000 schedule variance, confirming the project is ahead of schedule. For cost variance, we subtract the actual cost of $95,000 from that same earned value. This yields a positive $25,000 cost variance. The project is under budget. This logic applies to hybrid and agile projects as well. We simply swap the unit of measurement from dollars to story points or completed features. The formulas remain the same. If a team planned 50 story points for a sprint but completed 40, the earned value minus planned value results in a negative 10. The sprint is behind schedule. Because the math is identical across methodologies, these variances provide an objective, data-driven narrative of project health across an entire portfolio. A common operational mistake incorrectly compares planned value directly with actual cost. This ignores the work actually completed and produces a flawed cost variance. Variances are signals, not final grades. Treating them as a permanent score on team performance misses their intended purpose. When these metrics show a negative variance, the immediate next step is to investigate the cause. This allows leaders to uncover specific issues, like scope creep, required rework, or spikes in material costs. Mastering SV and CV forms the foundation for management by exception. By monitoring these variances, leadership can allow teams to execute autonomously, intervening only when the data signals a distinct deviation from the plan.